the ability for banks to transform in this age is super critical. Yet we know, and under the light of regulations, they struggle with it. With me today is Jan Bellens, our global banking and capital markets industry leader for EY. Together, we will talk about these challenges and how banks can overcome that. Jan, welcome.
Thank you, Ashu. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure. What are the top 3 ways banks can transform themselves, with your mind?
Well, we've actually recently done quite a bit of research on that, and we interviewed over 10 chief transformations officers at large global banks on how to make transformations successful. And there's three building blocks that come out of that. The first one is really a focus on customers and employees. Many times when banks go through transformation, they think about implementing a new technology platform, or changing their finance organization, or changing their operating model. What doesn't get top priority and should be a top priority is what's going to be different for the customer, what's going to be different for the employee. And I think a clear focus on what's going to change for customers and employees is often what's missing in transformations today. The second key building block, and that won't surprise you, is really bringing all the people along, bringing everyone along on the journey across the organization. And that's often a real challenge. And it requires also that the transformation team is very diverse. One of the funny anecdotes, or reasonably funny anecdotes from our discussions with the chief transformation officers, is that they all didn't like their role and their title. Because one of the challenges is, once they had been identified as the chief transformation officer, that transformation was kind of their problem. And the other executives go like, well, transformation, that's not me. It's the chief transformation officer. And that's not right. This is really, a team effort. It requires a diverse team, and it requires really people to go on the journey together to get there. And then I think the third key component that is often, and that's, I think, the combination for both of those that's often lacking, is the metrics need to be aligned with what you want to achieve. And many times, there are targets. There's a return on investment target or a cost target, but those are also not always helpful in breaking those silos and getting people really to focus on what matters, which is that customer and employee experience. So it's really a combination of metrics and not a single metric, or also not fragmented metrics where, one team is running after the lowest cost and the other team is looking at how do I grow the business? Because then you get into difficult discussions.